Well. Hello everyone, I'm Postmaster Radio, and it's time to bring on the funny. You're listening to Ujokes Weekly, the official podcast highlighting Jonathan Mangum's virtual comedy show, Ujokes, where comedians compete for the best joke, plus you guys on YouTube and Facebook can battle it out as well. It is comedy gold at your fingertips. Now, normally, there are 2 Ujokes shows that we discuss on each podcast because, as you know, typically new episodes of Ujokes are released on Tuesdays and Fridays, except bit of a change this week. There was no new show this past Tuesday the 25th, but we did get at least one great show on Friday the 28th. From Silicon Valley, Henry Phillips was on that show, and he battled it out against Jill Benjamin, whom you may remember from, for any Disney Channel fans, Austin and Ally, and for Nickelodeon fans, Henry Danger, plus its currently ongoing spin-off, Danger Force. So yeah, at least we still had one Ujokes show this week. What we're going to be doing because of that is, we'll still have the top 5 countdown. It will just be my 5 favorite moments from that one episode, keep that in mind, and as usual, we'll have the Ujokes Awards, but after that, the podcast will be done. Typically at the end, we wrap it up with Ujokes Extras, but I feel like my top 5 countdown and the Ujokes Awards for this week will essentially sum up that one episode of Ujokes that we had this week, so keep that in mind. Oh, and speaking of Ujokes episodes, in case you missed last week's Ujokes shows, catch up via the podcast link in the description, last week's edition of Ujokes Weekly. But now, without further ado, why don't we get started? So my 5th favorite moment from this interesting Ujokes show goes to a fabulously funny woman by the name of Trisha Palton. That is not one of the comedians from the week, though. No, she was invited to play on the show in the final round for a game called Happy Hour. This is where a picture is shown. You have to come up with the drink name, as funny as it can be. And though not one of my favorite jokes from the night, I must admit, it was a pretty good one, not just because it managed to trump the other comedians, essentially. But you know what, for a pick like this, of a man in drag, I want to say, holding a cup full of yellow liquid. No, not that yellow liquid, not to cause any confusion. But anyway, this was Trisha's joke.
Well, he's kind of mysterious looking and like he wants to drag you in. So this is ancient Celtic sin and juice.
Ancient sin and juice. Yeah. Good one. That's awesome, Trisha.
And again, not one of my personal faves from the night, but a hilarious joke nonetheless. Bravo, Trisha. Oh, and congratulations on winning the game, too. Fantastic. For the next couple of spots on the countdown, we go to a game called 7-Word Thoughts, which is everything you pretty much think it is. Based on the picture shown, which was a lady in a red dress who was beside a toilet with a bunch of roses inside said toilet. Now, based on that picture, Jill, Henry, and of course you guys on YouTube and Facebook had to come up with, what was the lady thinking. But you had to do it in 7 words on the dot. And that is it. For the 4th spot on the countdown, it goes to Jill's joke.
Told you my farts smell like roses.
That's true. I can tell that's true.
Because who doesn't want their farts to smell like roses? That's why. Yeah, that was a really funny joke from Jill. And then no offense to Mr. Henry Phillips, but he does not land the number 3 spot on the countdown because from that same game, we go to, from the YouTube chat, and I know I'm going to botch this name up, so my sincere apologies, Angela Rosender. I took Rose Bowl way too literally. I may have botched up your name slightly, sorry, but congrats, Angela. You had a fantastic joke for 7-Word Thoughts, and it won the game for you, so yay. Plus, the audience was not winning at all. Like, this was the second to last game of the night. In the other games that were played before, either Jill or Henry would win. So at least the audience got a win out of it. Congratulations once again, Angela. Fantastic joke. Moving on now to a different game. Name the Movie is at spot number 2 on the countdown for another fantastic joke. This time the spotlight is on Henry Phillips. For the picture of a couple out by nature with a lake, but then here's the important part, a mountain full of meat. You've got your bacon, you got your ham, you got, well, all things meaty. And I really liked where Henry was going among the lines of that particular pic.
Well, my original thought was this is obviously the sequel to Close Encounters, and this is the counterpart to the Mashed Potato Mountain, which makes a lot of sense. But then I realized I did a little research and I'm wrong. It's actually a movie from the early 60s called Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner at Tiffany's.
I'm not sure if that would be a healthy to eat that all 3 meals.
Well, that's the 60s. That's just sort of what they did. And they put butter on it.
You are true. You are right.
Yeah, that joke kind of made me hungry. I think the picture alone still kind of does. I may have a bit of a bacon craving to fulfill after the podcast, LOL. And finally, my favorite moment of the night, spot number 1 on the countdown. This is for Jill Benjamin. Yep, Jill's back in the spotlight. This time for a game of What's It Mean? Based on the totally made up word shown, which in this case was junch. And not that the spelling matters. I don't know why I do it every time, but what the heck. Junch, junch. And based on that word, Jill and the others had to come up with their own definition. I don't know what it is about this joke from Jill that just compelled me to, put this in the number 1 spot. Maybe because it was the funniest joke. Maybe because it was the winner as per the audience vote. If not that, then some other sort of je ne sais quoi factor. But nonetheless, ROTFL, if you know what I mean.
Junch is when you punch someone in the junk, which is odd because I did that at a juice bar to the guy next to me because he took so long ordering.
Oh my
God.
God.
So junch.
And bada bing, bada boom, Jill. Yeah, seriously though, congrats. I honestly don't think there could have been a funnier joke than that. If you want to challenge that, though, go ahead, let me know. Oh, and speaking of which, just before we go on to the Ujokes Awards, and I might as well say it from now before I forget, but you know how the next Ujokes show is coming up on Tuesday, September the 1st, and I can definitely guarantee that straight from the source. So there will be another new Ujokes show on Tuesday. If you think you have a good joke for it, not necessarily the word junch, but for any of the other games that were played that night, make sure you visit the Ujokes YouTube channel. I'll leave you an easy access to it via the link in the description or Jonathan's Facebook page, whichever you prefer. Find that recent episode. It should be one of the first things you'll see on YouTube or Facebook. If you go back to that show, use the comment section, send in your joke, because like Trisha Paulton, you could be invited to play in the final round of Tuesday's show. Keep that in mind. But anyway, with that little reminder out of the way, let's move on to the Ujokes Awards. And our first award of the night is Comedian of the Week, which in today's case is going to go to Jill Benjamin. I feel like she was the funnier comedian, to be honest with you. No offense to Henry Phillips, but he wasn't the one that had 2 jokes from that night make the countdown. Jill was. So bravo, Jill. For Game of the Week, our next award of the night, it's going to be a tie between 7-word thoughts, just because Jill and Angela from the YouTube chat had really good jokes for, that rose pick. But I also liked Jill's joke from What's It Mean for the word junch. Can't pick between those two, so I might as well leave it at both. For the Audience Award, speaking of Angela and her Rose Bowl joke, Angela Rosender, and once again, sorry for botching up your last name most likely, but you have definitely won the Audience Award. You have had, in my opinion, the best joke from at least the YouTube chat, if not the entire Ujokes audience of the night, so bravo. And as for Manga Moment, well, let's go back to 7-word thoughts one last time. Because you know how every now and then Jonathan sometimes does his own individual jokes, just for fun anyway, while the comedians and the guys and gals on YouTube and Facebook, of course, are getting their jokes ready. Jonathan had a little extra bit before that round began, which I kind of liked. I don't know about you.
Reminds me of an old poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. Please don't put them where you poo.
And that's how you know Jonathan is qualified to host Ujokes, because you gotta have a funny man to host a funny comedy show like Ujokes. Am I right, or am I right? Anyway, so those are all the highlights from Jill and Henry's show, and with that, this podcast is finite. Like I said earlier, Ujokes will be back on Tuesday, September 1st, again on YouTube or Facebook, and don't forget to tune in live, if you're able to make it live, at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. on the Eastern Coast. Keep checking out Ujokes, and to stay up to date on my podcasts, make sure you check them out on YouTube, Spreaker, and Spotify. And of course, do not forget to stay connected with me on Twitter and Instagram at Postmaster Radio. You know the drill, the account links are all in the description, and who knows, maybe I'll see you guys competing live again on Tuesday's show. Till then, well, bye for now. See ya!